Guys, I'm sad. Sad day, guys. So as you guys know, Dear Evan Hansen, it's a movie. It's a movie musical now. To put it kindly, not done so well. Looking at the numbers, as you can see from the screen, it has actually failed at the domestic at the box office in general. In its opening weekend, only managing to make $7 million out of a projected gross of $11 million, and only in its second weekend has it globally, not domestically, but globally, done $11 million. That is a flop. That is an L. It went from number 2 in its first weekend to now being at number 5. I really thought this might have been the Greatest Showman moment. I thought it would have risen up from the negative press, but it seems like it's gonna be another Rent producers. But now we gotta ask ourselves, why did Evan Hansen flop? Reason number 1 is this. And they did the same idiotic thing within the Heights, but it did work with Venom too. They had free screenings for fans of the movie. So for David Hansen at New York theaters and AMC Artisan Films allowed people to go and see the film for free. The hardcore fansins have already gone and seen it, and they showed it at TIFF, and then that TIFF version of the movie got leaked online in full quality. So a lot of their core audience was gone because they already saw it online or in theaters, and a lot of people that were on the fence that would have probably gone and seen it that hated it on TikTok went and saw it online. If there was no TIFF Film Festival and they didn't show it online, by the way, so if you were in Canada, you could watch it, and they didn't do these free screenings, and AMC didn't do this, they probably would have made 11 mil on the opening weekend. And they probably would have made, I think 8, 9, 10, they made 4 million this week, so 12, 13, 14, 15. They probably would have finished with at least 20 million. I mean, I know that's not much of a difference, but at least they would have done a little bit better. And I don't know why, in the Heights did the exact same thing, where they had Mother's Day screenings, and they had all these fan screenings and Q&As, and I'm like, guys, don't do this. The reason why Venom Let There Be Carnage, which did the exact same thing as In the Heights and Evan Hansen, why that worked is because people, first of all, the Venom movie is way shorter. It's PG-13. It's got more of an appeal. And that post-credit scene, I mean, people want to see that again and again. There's a much more obscure, smaller fan base for movie musicals, especially ones like In the Heights and Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen, you could say, was the ideal post-pandemic movie, but it really wasn't. Venom is this fun, goofy, 90 minutes of, forget all of your troubles. That's what people want to see. Dumb comedy, blockbuster, popcorn films. Not films like Dear Evan Hansen that are very, contemplative and, kind of criticize the social media. This very dark and sad and kind of depressing story is not what you want to see out of the pandemic. And that's why I think musicals and movies like Evan Hansen are not going to work post-pandemic, because that's not the appetite that people want. People wanted to see those kind of more, complex, contemplative, art house films and movies like Fun Home, Dear Evan Hansen. But in this post-pandemic world, people want to see films like Venom Let There Be Carnage. You gotta read the room, and I think Universal was wrong to put out the film now. Another thing is the reviews were absolutely dreadful. Word of mouth was terrible. And in this economic crisis, people want to spend their buck on something they know they're gonna love. And thirdly, this does not have a lot of major movie stars. And I thought it did, but I guess it didn't, because you really only have Amy Adams and Julianne Moore. And again, I think Ben Platt was the thing they were betting their buck on, and he got terrible reviews. He was panned as Evan, which I don't think he should have been. And I think the whole nepotism thing, which is stupid. And I mean, his reaction to the fans and the fans' response to the look of him, it was all stupid and overreacted. But I think that did contribute to people not liking Ben Platt, because people don't like Ben Platt. It's at the level of Matt Morrison, and that's bad for his future financial self. And I definitely do think that Ben Platt's performance was very polarizing. My thing is that they should not have cast Ben. He was too old. I mean, did we learn anything from Rent? I think another huge factor is the whole thing is, you know, this whole sensationalism thing of these young actors that no one knows about, that come out of nowhere, that can sing and act, and Evan is such a physical and vocally demanding poet. To see someone new portray it, everyone's gonna be like, this concept of the movie might be messed up and I don't like it, but guys, you gotta go see it. Same thing with Millie Bobby Brown as Eleven in Stranger Things. People weren't talking about Stranger Things because of Stranger Things. They were talking about it because of Millie Bobby Brown. You know, I mean, that's why Ben Platt works so as Ben Platt, because everyone's like, whoa, this kid comes out of nowhere and he's singing like an angel and he's acting his heart out. Like, it impresses people. Just like Miss Saigon as the helicopter. Ben Platt and Millie Bobby Brown, human beings can be the spectacle. And you need someone new to build that spectacle. Or somebody that you know, like I think Jacob Tremblay, Gaten Matarazzo for the part. And yeah, I think that they really messed up by having Ben play it. And I think the movie was rushed. You know, they were always saying, oh, we had to do it for Ben and for all of this stuff. And I think if Stephen Chbosky, Stephen Levinson, they had time to work out the kinks of the script and the directorial choices, we would have gotten a much stronger film. So as much as it pains me to say this, Mark Platt and Ben Platt are the only real reasons why this movie failed. Universal should have not put this out in this part of the pandemic. I think they should have held it off until next year, and I think putting it on a streaming service would have worked better. And Dear Evan Hansen is all about social media, and I think putting this exclusively on streaming, it would have been the #1 film. It probably would have racked up a lot of views, and I think it would be a huge streaming hit. Because everyone was watching it online illegally, and not going to see it in the theaters. Now, it's selling well in my area, and when I went and saw it, there was a good chunk of people there, but I guess that didn't really translate worldwide. I think ultimately this movie was banking on Ben Platt, Oscar noms, and huge positive buzz, which is probably why they were so confident in the movie to film it, to put it out at TIFF, and they're doing the same thing with Tick, Tick, Boom. And yeah, man, it's very disappointing as a huge Dear Evan Hansen fan to see this movie fail, because I think that this movie should succeed as much as The Greatest Showman would, but it's not. So what does this mean for the future of movie musicals? Well, as it stands, In the Heights was a huge success with both critics and audiences, but colorism accusations and a fail at the box office did not bode well off for this movie musical year of film. And then we got Annette, which was an art house film, so that gets an excuse. And then we got Cinderella, which was, I cannot believe that Cinderella was the most successful film. Audiences really enjoyed it, but TikTok fans, theater fans didn't. And it's like streaming numbers are huge, and it's performing like The Greatest Showman, but on streaming. So I'm very glad that that's doing well. Come From Away Pro Shot did very well with critics and audiences. Everybody's talking about Jamie, great hit with audiences and critics, not huge with streaming numbers, but it does feel like everybody's talking about Jamie. Was the one movie musical adaptation that actually succeeded this year, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer, smaller production. And then obviously we got Diana the Musical, which was a huge flop as well. People hated that movie, that Pro Shot, and I definitely do think they shot themselves in the foot. So now we have Tick, Tick, Boom and West Side Story. Now, Tick, Tick, Boom will be more measured along its streaming numbers and its critical reception, and I pray that does well, and I pray that West Side Story can do well financially and critically. So those are some of the reasons why I think Dear Evan Hansen failed at the box office, and I think it failed with critics because it was rushed, because of Ben Platt, because of the direction. I mentioned a lot of the reasons why the movie kind of didn't work in a lot of ways in my movie review. So that's the video. Make sure to like, sub, and comment. Thank you for all the recent support. Love you, Reddit guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck out there, Evan Hansen. You're gonna need it.